What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a video where we will explore the possibilities of what will happen to Manchester City, because the Premier League panel who will hear Manchester City's case, they have warned Manchester City that they could get relegated and get kicked out of the Premier League, and they could even get their titles taken away. Manchester City will become the first ever team in English top flight history to win 4 league titles in a row, and they are about to win their 6th Premier League title in 7 years. So the Premier League became a one-team league in the process, and I think the Premier League should have punished Man City way earlier. And then Ron, a BBC reporter, is reporting that Man City has delayed this process at every possible opportunity, and we will talk about all the details of this case and what's the latest. So if you enjoy these, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new around here. So then Ron, the BBC reporter, is reporting that Man City have been charged with 115 financial fair play rule cases, and this possible sixth league title in 7 years would only intensify questions over the fairness of how Man City assembled their squad. Remember, Man City's squad on paper cost 1.2 billion pounds, which is absolutely ridiculous. Man City have the highest wage bill and they have the most expensive squad assembled, but also Man City are investigated for 14 times a failure to accurately report payments to agents, players and managers. The true figure is probably way more than 1.2 billion pounds that their squad cost, even though Guardiola said that they haven't spent as much money in the last 5 years as Man United, Chelsea and Arsenal. What a load of nonsense. They spent hundreds of millions of pounds every single year, and Man City are also under investigation for 54 separate instances of failing to produce accurate financial reporting. So in theory, Man City's actual cost of the squad could be around 1.5 billion pounds, and Man City's wages in their most recent accounts are 423 million pounds per year, which means that it's more likely way more than that. And the reason why many rival fans wanted Man City to win the Premier League title is that it just doesn't warrant a reaction from anybody really. Man City are absolutely irrelevant because of their financial cheating and because of how they got there. Everything that they have won since 2012 is just an eye roll, and 24 hours later it's all forgotten about. And it's almost tragic that Guardiola and all his players and everything that Man City have Man City have done in the last 10 to 12 years, it has a massive asterisk next to that. The Man City fans want validation for the trophies and titles that they won, and they will never have it. They will never have the respect of the football community because of being financial cheats, because of financial doping, because of lying for years and years about their accounts, about their sponsorship deals. Everything that Man City does, will be looked at through those eyes. And the media like to report Man City as the best Premier League team in history and the best, side of this modern Premier League era. But I think they should be reported on as financial cheats. And the media always should mention that massive asterisk next to Man City's name, that they got here through breaking the rules, through not playing by the rules like a lot of other teams do. And as early as November 2018, the Premier League wrote to Man City, requesting certain information and documents in relation to these potential rule breaches, and Man City objected to their request. They denied the request after what has been published by the Der Spiegel newspaper and the Football League leaks documents. 1 year later, in August 2019, the Premier League issued a complaint against Man City. For almost a year, the Premier League hasn't received the documents and information that the Premier League has the right to receive under the Premier League rules, and which Man City refused to give the Premier League access to. Man City responds to this by challenging the Premier League's disciplinary system, challenging a technicality which was only highly regarded barristers could be elected for the commission. And this is why the investigation is taking so long. This is why the Premier League still hasn't punished Manchester City, because Man City made sure that this case got stuck in the courts for almost 3 years, delaying the process at every single opportunity, challenging every technical aspect they could to delay it for as much as possible. I mean, if you are innocent, and Man City are claiming they are innocent, then why are you delaying the process at every possible opportunity? Why are you using the lawyers and the court proceedings to put hurdle after hurdle after hurdle in front of the investigation? Look at Everton and Nottingham Forest. They were charged and they fully cooperated with the Premier League because they knew that if they object, they could get harsher punishments. But Man City have unlimited money, and they owners with unlimited amounts of money, they know that they can get away with everything if they throw enough money at the problem. That's how they worked all their life in all kinds of businesses. So why would they change their approach when it comes to football? So in October 2019, when Man City still hasn't submitted the required documents and information, the Premier League began arbitration against Man City, seeking a declaration that they are contractually obliged to provide the necessary information, the necessary documents according to Premier League rules and regulations. And Man City tried to stop the arbitration by arguing to the tribunal involved that the Premier League had no power to start it. They also claim that the tribunal does not appear impartial. So Man City again are just complaining and delaying the process. 1 year later, in June 2020, Man City issued an application in the commercial court repeating their argument that the tribunal lacks jurisdiction on the information claim, and they thought that they wanted it thrown out because they are claiming it is a biased process. Later that year, in November 2020, Man City's claim that it has no obligation to pass on the requested information is rejected. So Man City are delaying this process by 2 years, and ultimately it was rejected by the court. So it means that they unlawfully delayed providing the necessary information and the necessary documents that the Premier League rules state that they have to provide to the investigation. But the problem was, in November 2020, is that the order to provide the documents and the information by Man City was postponed pending the outcome of the commercial court case which Man City started. So their delaying tactics worked. And in March 2021, in the commercial court, Mr. Justice Mulder more or less dismisses Man City's challenge to the jurisdiction and impartiality of the tribunal, dismantling the Man City lawyers' arguments, clearly hinting that the Man City lawyers abused the public court system, and their tactic was just to delay the whole process. And she also refused permission to appeal her judgment, so Man City had no choice to appeal that. In March 2021, Mrs. Justice Mulder said her judgment should be published in order to reveal the lengths to which Man City had attempted to resist passing on information to the Premier League. Man City successfully sought permission to appeal the decision to make the information public in the Court of Appeal. So we get another delay. So you have to understand that this is Man City's tactic. On a technicality, they are doing appeal after appeal after appeal just to drag the case out for as long as possible. And in the meantime, Man City are winning Premier League title after Premier League title after Premier League title. And if it wasn't for Jurgen Klopp's miraculous Liverpool team of getting 97 and 99 points in 2 seasons, the Premier League would have been a one-team league for literally 7 years in a row. So the Premier League is like the French league when it comes to winning titles. It's one team dominating, and then you get the odd win by another team once every 7 years. And in June 2021, the Court of Appeal opens its hearing into Man City's appeal against the publication. The Court of Appeal handed down its decision dismissing the appeal. So it took the Premier League almost 3 years just to have it right for Man City to follow the Premier League rules, which is to provide the necessary documents and information that the Premier League requested just to investigate their case. And we know that Man City made another challenge of the impartiality of an experienced barrister, in no way connected to the Premier League, in Casey Murray Rosen. How much delay this caused is not entirely known, but during this time Man City was also sentenced by Uefa for failing to produce requested information and delaying procedures. So they have done this at Uefa as well as at the Premier League, and at Uefa it worked because they have a time limit of 5 years, and some of the charges weren't found guilty because it was time barred. So they weren't found guilty because they were not guilty. They weren't found guilty because the charges expired. It went beyond the 5 years. Thankfully, in the Premier League, there are no time limit on the offenses committed. But the bottom line is, Man City can't delay this any further. The Premier League hearing will take place probably in the autumn, so maybe in September. And if even some of the charges are proven, and you have to assume with 115 charges labeled against Man City that some of them will stick, some of them will be proven to be correct, then Manchester City will be severely punished. And that could mean relegated to the Championship, League One, League Two, maybe even to non-league football. There is a possibility that Man City's titles and trophies will be taken away, and then Man United will be awarded another title, and Arsenal will be awarded another title, and Liverpool will be awarded another 2, potentially even 3 titles. Yes, Liverpool finished second to this cheating Man City side 3 times. Once under Brendan Rodgers and twice under Jurgen Klopp, and especially the 97 and 92 point seasons with Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool should feel very hard done by. Look at Arsenal fans, how they are complaining that since the turn of the year, since January the 1st, Arsenal have won every game apart from 2, I think. They got a draw against Man City, then they lost to Aston Villa. They have an almost perfect, immaculate record, and yet they will finish second because Man City went pretty much perfect. I don't even know how many Man City wins they had in a row in the Premier League now, but it's probably like 12 or 13. Sorry, it's 8 wins in a row for Manchester City in the Premier League. So if they make it 9 wins in a row, then they will be champions, and Arsenal will be absolutely kicking themselves that they lost to Aston Villa. But even there was a moment in the Tottenham Man City game where the title could have gone Arsenal's way. If Heung-min Son scores his chance, his one-on-one against Ortega, that's the Vincent Kompany moment. Remember when Vincent Kompany scored an absolute worldie from like 30-35 yards when Man City were struggling against Leicester at home? It was 0-0, then Vincent Kompany pulls out an absolute rabbit out of the head, and Man City win that game 1-0, and they go on to win the title, I think in 2022. That was an absolute heartbreak for Liverpool fans as well. So now the Arsenal fans know how Liverpool fans must have felt. And I mean, to get to 97 points and not win the title is even more ridiculous, because Arsenal could finish on 89 points and not win the title, but Liverpool had 92 and 97 points. 97 points wins you like every single league title in the past 100 years, apart from like 2 or 3 seasons. And that's it. All the other seasons Liverpool would have been champions. I know I sound salty, but that's the truth. And remember that Juventus got kicked out of the Serie A for financial rule breaches, and Marseille got kicked out of the French league once before, and also Juventus got their titles stripped away. In 2006 they got relegated to the second division, and they got their titles stripped because because of the Calciopoli scandal. So it could happen, but the big question is, will political influence of the United Arab Emirates in England influence this case? It probably will, but we will wait and see what happens next. I will be reporting for you guys on that case, on this Man City case, throughout the season, throughout the year. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.